Okay, this video is going to be solving rational equations, and there's a few steps you just always want to follow. First, simplify, factor whatever you can, like here I factored that denominator. Second, look at the domain. So you're on these, you're looking for where you can get division by 0, and that would be either at 2 or -2. Either one of those numbers would give me division by 0. Next, you're going to find the LCM, which is like finding the common denominator, greatest common denominator. We want the LCM, in this case x minus 2 and x plus 2 would be that LCM. And what we generally want to do with these is take both sides of this equation and multiply it by the LCM. So when you do this, it looks rather imposing. Let me scroll this up here. So here I'm multiplying both sides by x minus 2, x plus 2. And this is a big distributive I have to do. I have to take the x minus 2, x plus 2 times both these quantities. And that's what I've written out next. So pause it. Pause the video, check, make sure it's right. On the right hand side, the x plus 2 is crossed off, and that's the whole goal here, is that when you multiply by the LCMs, all the fractions will cross off. So if you go to this step here, where the fractions are gone, right above, x minus 2 is crossed off, here x minus 2, x plus 2 is crossed off, and this is what I'm left with. You multiply out both sides, you collect common terms, like terms, solve the equation. We get 2x equals -6. That becomes x equals -3. And we have to go back and check this in the domain. So when I go up to the domain, my domain's all real numbers except 2 or -2. Well, since we got x equals -3, that's our solution. Okay. So the next one, okay, kind of ugly looking. Again, I'm going to factor that denominator. I'm going to get the domain. Domain's 1 and -1. I'm going to get the LCM, x minus 1, x plus 1, and I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by that. And when I do, it does look imposing, but you have to write it out this way. Distribute that into each term. Your fractions should cross off, and you're probably doing it right if all your fractions are gone. Multiply out what's left. Combine like terms. Okay, so pause it, make sure my work's right. Combine your like terms, keep solving for x. So I moved everything, I'm trying to move all the x's to one side, everything else to the other side. The x squareds cross off, I get x equals 1. So x equal 1 in my domain. So I go back up. Oops. My domain's all real numbers except 1 and -1. I better get my except on there. And so it can't be 1. So there is no solution to that equation. So go back, run this again, pause it, work through it, and see if you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. So there's a purpose to all this. That is to get the fractions gone, get the value, go check the value in your domain. If it's not in the domain, there's no solution.